Hey everybody, I am Terri Britt, and we are getting. Hey everybody, I'm Terri Britt, and welcome to this week's Women Leaders of Love Own Your Worth Wednesdays. As people are trickling in right now, I want to invite you to just take a moment. We always want to get centered and come into this space to just leave everything at the door, right? So as you can see, I've got my door shut to my office. I want to invite you to do the same. So if you need to take a moment while people are trickling in to turn off the phone, turn off the TV, turn off anything. If you've got extra pages on your computer, if you're watching from your computer, turn those off so that you can be fully present here, because this is your time, right? This is your time when you are saying yes to you and you're being here. You are being in a receptive state, and that's where we want to be, right? Because that's where we get guidance. That's where we receive love. That's where we get into a divine flow, and then in that receptive state, we have more to give. We really come from a space of service. So anytime you take time for you, if I can give you anything, is to know that anytime you take time for you, anytime that you love yourself in any way and do it without guilt, do it without shame, you are putting yourself in a receptive state. And this is how you lead. When we talk about being a woman leader of love, we want to lead from a space of love. We want to lead from a space from our heart, from deep within connection to our soul and to God. And so that's where we want to go, right? So every time you love yourself, you're giving yourself permission. Every time you do something like being here, you are putting yourself in that high vibrational state, and then you have more to give. So that's what we want to do, right? And you become an example. So again, I just want to welcome everyone. If you're joining us on Facebook, you can watch us here. If you'd ever like to join us in the Zoom part of this call, because you'll see as we go further into this, that people will be able to ask questions. We're going to do some meditations, and I'll do some laser coaching and healing. So if you want to get into that part of the call, you can just go to terribritt.com/leaders and get my Worthiness Quotient Breakthrough Bundle, which is my free Women Leaders of Love ebook and 3 guided meditations to really help you understand what we are as women leaders of love. And then once you do that, next week you'll get the invitation with the Zoom link to come into this call and be a part of the live Q&A and everything. So I want you to be here. So as people are continuing to trickle in, let's just take a moment to breathe, get centered, give ourselves permission to be here, as I just said a second ago. So let's just take a moment as people are coming in to close your eyes and let's get grounded. Let's just get grounded. And this is one of the key things you can do to start getting yourself in a receptive state, is to imagine opening up the crown of your head and allowing the light of God in. So as we do this and you're allowing yourself to breathe deeper into this, breathing from your belly, coming in through your nose and then releasing very slowly, I want you to imagine that you're just saying yes. You're saying yes. You're saying yes to love. You're letting love in. You're letting love in. Love is all around us. We just forget to let it in. So I want to invite you to let that love flood through your toes, down through your arms and your fingertips. Let it wash all around you. Let anything that doesn't feel loving to wash right down under your feet. Send it down a column of light. And send it to the center of the earth. We're letting love in. Breathing into this. Feels really good, doesn't it, to let love in? When you're ready, you can come back into the space and just be here and let that love continue to flood in. So if you find yourself starting to get into mind chatter or anything, just imagine opening up your crown again and letting love in. And that is going to be our topic today, because I have to share with you guys a little bit of an aha that I've had. I think I shared with you in one of our past sessions about, it may have been last week, where I felt like I came in with my fist up, and that I always felt like I had to go to battle. And then one day I saw a rod of energy in the back in my spine, and I pulled it out and realized, oh, I was trying to defend my soul and try to stand up for my spirit because I was afraid I would lose myself. What was interesting is that just this morning, I had a long meditation. Okay. I mean, I meditated for like 2.5, 3 hours. It was really cool. My meditations are a lot of journaling, allowing the messages to come through. And so I'm going to try to put this into words for you guys because I'm not even sure. And you're probably going to go, oh yeah, I'm already aware of that. But I just have to share with you my aha. So because of that energy of always feeling as if I were going to be attacked, and I've been chipping away at that. Okay. Whether it was me just saying something in my family and feeling like if I would, said something, somebody would come down my throat. And then of course it comes out harsh, right? Because I'm holding it back. Or whether it was saying that I'm an intuitive because I had so much energy on believing that I was going to be persecuted or killed because I'm an intuitive, right? I mean, all this weird stuff that goes on in your head. But I realized this morning, and again, I think I've been chipping away at this, that I expected to be attacked. And so I wasn't allowing all the love that was there for me to come in. Does that make sense? Like if you've got your barriers up and you're expecting to be attacked or judged, you're missing out on the good stuff. It's kind of like when we say you have to feel your feelings, right? If you suppress your anger, you're also going to suppress your passion. I mean, you've got to be able to feel both sides of the coin. Well, if you're wanting to experience love, you've got to be willing to face the fear of, in my case, of being attacked. And it was so interesting because I remember years ago when I first started meditating, I saw some things that seemed kind of scary to me. And for a little bit, I decided I wasn't going to meditate anymore. And then I had this aha, and it was like, wait, this is crazy. I don't have to do that. I can just ask for God and the angels and my guides to protect me, and that to only show me the things that were important to my growth and to evolving and to moving into love. And that I wasn't interested in being in darkness and having darkness surround me in any way. And literally all of the crap that I had been seeing went away. I really felt protected. So what I was saying is I'm letting love in, right? And I don't have to have that experience of having the darkness come in like that. Well, then, over the years, I've been chipping away at letting more love in, And you guys have heard so many of the stories of where abundance and miracles have shown up, just like I'm sure they have in your life as well. But it was so interesting this morning to see that there was this amazing stuff out in the world that was uniquely for me, so that I could serve. Because I always believe it's like when we receive, then we get to serve, right? I mean, that for me is anything that comes in my space, I feel like, oh, now I can serve with. And it doesn't mean I have to give myself up. It just means I can be a light for that. But when I saw that, because, in reality, and I'm going to be really, really honest with you here. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff over the years in putting myself out there, giving myself a voice. But there always has been this little bit of a wall of feeling like, okay, I'm not really letting myself be seen. I'm not really letting myself be heard, and not really allowing myself to shine fully. And I've known that it was about that fearing of being attacked, of being told you're wrong, and just the old stuff that came from childhood. But when we do that, when we hold back, we're not letting love in. Okay, I want you to think about that for a moment. We're not letting love in. See, when we're worried about everything else and everyone else, one, we're making the other people the authority of our lives, We're not trusting that God, the universe, our guides, our angels are they have our back. We're not trusting that, right? And this is why we continue to look at ourselves and say, where am I not owning my worth? Because when we don't own our worth, then we're not going to trust. But oops, I got somebody that I'm hearing here. I'm going to mute you. It looks like Holly. There you go. So, what I want you to become aware of right now, and maybe you're seeing yourself in some of this, is are you keeping love at bay? And we talked a little bit about receiving love last week in our relationships, but this is bigger than that. Are you putting a wall up for fear that something's going to happen? And in that fear, you're not letting love in. It's pretty profound when you think about it. I want you to just take a moment for yourself and just maybe even put your hand on your heart and ask, am I blocking love? Am I letting love in? Am I letting love in? Or are you afraid of being attacked? Maybe you're afraid of being told no. There's so many things that can get in the way of letting love in. For me, as I said, it was about being attacked. You can even think about the times maybe as a kid when you stood in your truth, or maybe you did something and there were girls at school who came at you. And that is that sense of, well, if I put myself out there again, I'm going to be attacked. If you had anything in your home where you had a parent who was in lack and they took their pain out on you, there might be that sense of, I'm going to be attacked. So I want to just kind of look at that today. I want to do a meditation on that and see if that rings true for anyone. I want to see. Okay, so thank you, Yvonne. I'm going to pull my chat up right here. Hold on, let me put some people are popping in. So Victoria says, afraid of being hurt again. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh, Victoria, you just said it so perfectly. I got chills. It makes me want to cry. Yes, you're afraid of being hurt again. And the sad thing is, though, is that when we're in that fear, and Yvonne says, I'm afraid of being abandoned. Right, right. So when we're in that fear of, I'm afraid of not being accepted. Yes, you guys, exactly. I got chills. I knew this was going to resonate for you guys because it was just like, whoa, this is such a huge conversation. So we hold ourselves back and don't let love in because of whatever it is. If it's about being abandoned, it's about being accepted. Katie says, OMG, yes, hurt, rejected, abandoned, all of the above. But here's the deal. When we hold ourselves back and don't let love in out of those fears, we are the ones who are abandoning ourselves. We are the ones who are not accepting ourselves. We are the ones who are rejecting ourselves. I think about that because we are the authorities of our lives, right? We are the authority. Hopefully, with God as your guide, and you are part of that, right? When we are afraid of that rejection and abandonment and not being accepted, we're making others the authority. We're living by those good girl rules or whatever rules you have in your mind. We're living by those rules and we're giving everyone else our power. So we're being dysfunctional. We're being codependent. We don't want to be codependent and dysfunctional. We do that because we're wanting connection. But when we come back and we get connected to ourselves, that's when we're no longer rejecting ourselves. We're no longer abandoning ourselves and we're starting to accept ourselves. Oh, somebody said Linda Elwa. I know I had a hard time with that name before. She says my connection is unstable. I missed that. So what we're talking about is letting love in, that we have a fear of putting ourselves out there, because mine was about being attacked. But for people right here who've said it could be rejection, abandonment, a lack of acceptance, we're doing that to ourselves and we're not letting love in. Okay, we're not letting love in. So I want you to just take a moment, because we've been talking about this and you guys are so cool to be writing this. I love that you're adding this. Let me see if I missed. So afraid of being hurt again, afraid of being abandoned, afraid of not being accepted. Yes, hurt, rejected, abandoned, all of the above. Oh, I love this. Yes, Katie, you said, I feel I have my foot on the brake and the gas pedal at the same time. OMG. I can totally relate. And that's, and then we wonder when, our soul's calling us to manifest something, right? And we have the foot on the gas and then part one on the brake. What happens is we're not being in alignment. It's like the soul is going, I want to go here, but the foot on the brake is going here. So you've got to get your vibration to match what you want to create for it to open up, for you to really let love in. So when you're in that space of putting your foot on the brake, you're creating a friction here. You're not allowing love in. So this is why we want to take the foot off the brake and allow ourselves to go forward in divine timing. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I've got to go push, push, push. It's about allowing yourself to be in your divine flow, your timing, which is so key. So let me see what else she says. And now you're explaining to me why it's not happening. Yes. And oh, I see right here. It says, I fear failure, success, and rejection, all of it, right? So like, look, fear of success can be like, well, if I am successful, how am I going to handle everything? How am I going to handle all the stuff that's coming in? How am I going to handle all the love that's coming in? Right? Right? Well, that's again when we're not trusting and we're not owning our worth. Because if we're trusting and we're owning our worth, then we know that we can take time to connect, to get connected to our guides, to connect to the little kid inside of us, to love ourselves. If we're trusting, then we can do the things that we feel guided to do and put other things on the back burner. I think a lot of times success is, if I am so bright, if I'm so light with love, how is that going to feel? One, is it going to feel unfamiliar? And is it going to be overwhelming? Am I going to be buried in responsibilities? Again, that's performance-based energy. That's not you being in your truth and being the authority of your life. So let me see. So Katie says, and also I have felt I needed to heal myself more before I put myself out there. That, my dear, is a perfect picture. That is a perfect picture. And that is saying that who I am is not enough. What you're saying is who I am and where I am right now is not enough. And let me tell you, I know that feeling. I remember when I first started doing intuitive readings, and I would say to people, okay, I'm probably going to be wrong. Just tell me if I am, but let's do this. And I gave myself an out, right? But I just started doing it and started, helping people heal. And it was amazing. It was amazing to do that and just say, I'm going to take it. I'm going to trust enough that I've got a gift here and I'm going to use it. And it was scary. It was scary. And there have been many times that I've been wrong. And that's why I always say, if I'm wrong, tell me, because it's okay. I'm human. And that's what you have to get to that place too, Katie, is saying, I'm human. I am human. And I'm going to do my best. I'm going to come from a space of love and service and whatever your work is. And then by doing that, you put yourself out there and you take those steps, right? You just take tiny steps of trust and then they grow into giant steps of trust. So Yvonne says, I have been abandoned multiple times in my life, including abandoning myself. I'm ready to heal this pattern. Yes. Okay. So, okay. So let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody else's. I think I've got everybody else's here. So first off, Yvonne, I don't know if you've taken my worthiness quotient course, but it is all about no longer abandoning yourself. And you can check it out later at terribritt.com/worthy. And it is where we stop abandoning ourselves and where you really move into that space of self-love. And you get all the foundational tools that will help you really become a master manifester. So I'll try to remember to write it in later. It's just terribritt.com/worthy. But so that's a really great way to break the pattern. Today, I really want to focus on what is the fear that you're holding on to and that's keeping you from allowing love to pour in, the abundance of the universe to pour in. Okay, so what is that fear? And as I said, mine has been about being attacked. It literally has been about being attacked. Nothing else. I mean, that is the big one. Is Well, I used to have one about feeling responsible for everybody. And then it was like, no, it's not my job to be responsible. I can only be a light and a messenger. You have to heal yourself, right? I can be a facilitator, but it's not my job to heal you. And I had to learn that through my children. It's a big one to learn it through your kids. But I want you to think about, what is that belief that is keeping you in this space where you're expecting the worst case scenario rather than the best case scenario. That's cool, isn't it? What's keeping you expecting? Because when we expect it, we start creating it. So, what is the belief that's keeping you in that state of expectation of something really bad versus expecting love to pour in? I love that. So we're going to do a meditation on this. Katie says, I think mine is a fear of men have been abused. Yep, that will do that. That will do that. And good. She says, I've been working on that and releasing it. Yay. Yay. That's a big one. I've had to do that too. Okay. I was molested. And so it's really just altogether just taking back your power, taking back your power, taking back your power, you being the authority of your life. That's what this whole women leaders of love, that's why the word leaders is in there. Okay, it's about being the authority of your life with God, with your soul as your guide. Okay, it's your heart, that heart space. So let's do this meditation. Let's jump in here and let's just dive in to see, what is the belief that keeps you in a state of a negative expectation. Okay, and that's keeping you from letting that love in. So let's do this, because we said a lot of different ones here. Yep. And Lindella, I hope I'm saying that's that Lindella, I hope that's right. You say that I am not good enough or inadequate. Yes, that's another one, right? Well, I can tell you, if we make up the body of God, and I mean, even if your past is in religion, it says we make up, if you're a Christian, it says we make up the body of Christ. Well, if you make up the body of Christ, then don't you think you're good enough? If we make up the body of God, if we have this beautiful energy field, whatever it's science or religion or just spirituality, if we help make up that body, aren't we enough? Aren't we adequate? Aren't we amazing? Aren't we divine? I think that's where we've been so programmed to believe we're not. I know for me, I took a lot of that belief on with being in the church, about being a sinner. And sinner just means you're just off the mark. So it just means you're being in your humanness, right? That's all it means, is you're being in your humanness. It's an ancient archery term and is off the mark. And so when I'm in my humanness and I'm not honoring and loving the way I'm created, then I'm off the mark. You want to call that a sin? Without God, you can call it that. I just call it being human. So you can choose how you want to be, but you are enough because you are a part of this body of God. So let's do this meditation. I'm going to take a drink of water, and I want to invite you right now, as I do, that you just close your eyes, and we'll take another moment to get grounded. And as you sit in this space, we're going to ask the light of God to flood in. We're going to invite our angelic guides, whoever you want to invite in. I love to invite Christ and Mother Mary and Michael and Gabriel. And I just, I surround myself with this light and love, and whoever you want to invite in, that's fine right now. Just bring that light in, the light of love. That's all we're asking for, is the light and the support of love to come in through the crown of your head, bringing you back into this space of being centered and connected. It feels really good to feel that energy flooding to our toes and our fingertips. And as you're in this space, I want you to invite that little kid inside of you, invite her in, invite her to come in and sit on your lap. Say hello to her. Breathing into this. Now, we've had a lot of discussion here, and I want to invite you to think about that one belief that creates great fear in you, that causes you to expect the worst. Just think about that belief. And even go into your body and feel that belief. Like, ooh. And I want you to imagine right now that wherever you feel it in your body, you just send it some love. You can even put your hand and imagine this light of love and healing is in your hand. Just imagine this light of love and healing, and wherever you're holding that energy that is keeping you shut down, keeping you in fear and expecting the worst, I want you to bring your hand to that space. And if it's on your back, you can just imagine coming in from the front and then it going through to the back side. I want you to imagine sending that light there. Feel that light. Sending it through. I want you to imagine that the wall that has been built because of this fear, and it may be in your whole body, and you may just see that so you can hold your hand out here and send the light to your whole body. And I want you to just bring some love and say, I love you. And I'm so sorry you're hurting here. I'm so, so sorry that you're afraid. And feel the stuck, dark, hard energy cracking. Feel it cracking. And you can even imagine that there is a bowl underneath it that's catching all the energy that is falling off as you start seeing light. If you don't see it, you can just imagine it. Feel your love that you're sending to this part of you that's really, really hurting and afraid. And feel that fear starting to relax. And I want you to sink into that spot. Go in and see if you can find your inner child. I know she's sitting on your lap, but the wounded part of you, that wounded part of your inner child, see if you can find her in there. And go deeper, sinking into this area of your body. Feeling that. And as you find her, you may see her, you may have a knowingness. You may hear her saying, I'm here. Whatever it is, however it works for you, I want you to go to that place. And I want you to just connect to her and how she feels. Is she afraid of being abandoned? Is she afraid of being rejected, not accepted? Is she afraid of failing or having success? Maybe being hurt again? What is she afraid of? And I want you to imagine that as you've dropped into this space, that you take her up in your arms and you tell her it's okay. And if she's feeling any emotion, let the emotion come up. Just acknowledge it, allow her to feel. Breathing into this. And I want to invite you to tell her that she doesn't have to hang out here anymore. She doesn't have to hide anymore. She doesn't have to put her walls up, but she can let love in. I want you to imagine that all the times that she's hidden because of whatever it is that you're seeing right here, whatever she's afraid of, I want you to imagine that you're just saying, okay, I see you, I understand. And let's just let all that energy move into a rose as we always do, the head of the rose like a vacuum cleaner. Let all that energy go into the rose. All going into the rose. And you can even let that belief or the fear. And you can even ask her specifically, what is the belief that is causing you to hide out and not let love in? And see what she says. What is the belief? And now put that belief into the rose. If you had a hard time getting to the belief, you can even imagine that she's handing you a piece of paper with a word on it. It could be a whole sentence, it doesn't matter. It may be a picture. Whatever you get, I want you to put it in that rose. And let's send that rose out into the universe and blow it up like confetti. We're sending it back with love. Breathing into this. And I want to invite you to ask her, are you ready to stand up? Maybe she is standing. Maybe she was cuddled up with her arms around her knees. But I want you to just imagine that where all this darkness was, that there's light now, that it's turned into light. Because she can feel the presence of love here. She can feel that it's safe. And I want to invite you now to just let her grow and expand. Let her grow in this love. And as she's growing, I want you to imagine that she grows so big that she is you now, and you're standing there looking at her. She's moved out of you, and you're looking at her. And you're seeing how she's letting love in, how she feels the love, that she's just expanded in this love energy. And now she's no longer this wounded child, but she's this loving adult. I want you to feel her, and I want you to say hello to her. I want you to feel the love. And you can even imagine that there's this energy going from your heart to her heart, because it's you, really, right? But we're just looking at her. And I want you to feel the love and the expansion of this, that she doesn't have to be afraid anymore. This belief that she's been holding on to, it was just that little kid who was wounded. But now we've cleared out the energy, and she's expanded into the space of love to where she is this wise adult. And as you sit there and you imagine this part of you that has come into wholeness, I want you to imagine that you're bringing this now into your heart space and you're merging as one. And you say, yes, I give myself permission to stand in this. I give myself permission to be done. I give myself permission to let love in. No longer hide. To put myself out there and let love in. I want to invite you to breathe into this. I want you to imagine the little kid on your lap who's your appendage just saying, we got this, kid. We have this. We're doing this together. And see her excited, feel her excited. I want you to just feel it and going, yes, yes, I am the authority of my life. I am the divine mother to this little kid inside of me who's been so wounded. And I am saying yes to letting love in, and just feel that energy expanding into every cell of your body. It feels so good, and let it expand into your aura around you, that you're so full of this light and this love. Getting grounded and rooted, that as you let love in, you become a messenger of love. That's your purpose, right? To be that leader of love for your family, for your friends, for your loved ones, for the people you care about the most, and even the person on the street, right? That when they walk by you, they can feel the love. So when you're ready, let's take another deep breath and release. Let's take another deep breath through the nose, all the way into your belly. Hold it and release. I want to hear what happened for you. If you are ready to be courageous and you want to raise your hand, for those of you on Zoom, you can raise your hand, and all you do is there's the reaction button at the bottom, and you click it, and then it'll say raise your hand. You can raise your hand if anybody wants to share what they saw, what they experienced. If you got stuck, this is your opportunity for coaching. Okay, so Yvonne, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself.
I did.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm great, thank you. How can I help you?
Of course, I knew that abandonment was a big issue in my life, but I asked my inner child what else was behind this. 'Cause I've been working on it for years.
Yeah.
And she told me damaged goods.
Oh, wow.
And my father was a Pentecostal minister, and he molested me since I was 5 years old.
I'm so sorry.
And my mother abandoned us several times. And it seems like people abandon me all through my life. So I feel like because of what my dad did, that it made me damaged, and people can see. I know it's ridiculous, but I've always felt like people could look at me and just know that I had been abused.
Yeah.
So I was quite surprised to realize that I felt like I'm damaged goods. Sorry.
No. I just really appreciate your vulnerability and your courage. So that little girl inside of you took on the belief that she is damaged goods.
Yes.
What would it take, and hopefully this meditation helped, but what would it take for you to flip the switch on that label?
I really don't know.
Okay, so I want you to do something with me, and this is one of my favorite tools I use in my worthiness quotient course, but I want you to try this with me, okay? So I want you to imagine the little girl inside of you, little Yvonne, standing there with a sign on her neck, hanging around her neck, and it says damaged goods.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the false belief you took on. We're going to flip over this sign, and the truth is going to be there. Okay, something you've never seen probably before. So I want you to imagine walking up to her and say, okay, we are ready to be done with this belief of damaged goods. And I want you to take off the sign, flip it over, and what's the first thing you get?
She won't let go of the sign.
Do what?
Won't turn loose of the sign.
You broke up a second. What did you say? She won't what?
She won't let me let go of it. She won't let go of the sign, so I can.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so I want you to ask her why. Why won't she let go of the sign? How is it serving her? Or is she afraid something else is there?
Afraid of what might be on the other side.
Okay. So when we take on a false belief that creates so much pain and suffering, right? Because damaged goods is a false belief, right? I mean, that's causing you pain and suffering, so it's not the truth. Okay. So the truth is always going to be loving. The truth is going to be, when I'm talking about our truth, now sometimes we might get something in our life that feels like the truth is like, this doesn't feel very loving, but the truth of you, who you are, is loving. Okay. So I want you to tell her that, it's like you have to think of it as talking to a child, and you say, okay, I understand you don't feel safe. And if she doesn't feel good about this today, that's okay. But I want to just try one more thing. And then if she doesn't, then this is something you can do on your own when you feel a little bit more safe. Okay. But I want you to just tell her, you know what? How about we take off the sign right now? And if it doesn't feel good, we can put it back. What does she say to that?
She said, okay.
Okay, good, good. So ask her if she'll hand you the sign. And then give yourself permission to see the truth of who this little girl is and flip that sign over.
Innocent.
I got the exact same word. Wow. Wow. I want you to take that in, okay?
Okay.
Take that in. You were innocent. You were not guilty. You weren't damaged goods. You weren't bad. You did nothing to cause it. You were this pure, innocent little girl. And I want you to just feel that innocence flooding back into you right now. It's almost like you separated from it. So I want you to just imagine that energy of innocence is flooding through. And I want you to imagine you're taking that little girl up in your arms. And you're telling her, see, this is who you are. Just feel that. Feel that, Yvonne. I know it's hard. How is she feeling when you're seeing this?
She feels lighter.
Yeah. Yeah. I was teaching my worthiness quotient course to some preachers, 3 preachers who were kind of on the edge preachers, like cutting edge. And one of them saw that he was a troublemaker. And when he flipped it over, it was truth seeker. Big difference, right?
Yes.
Big difference. So look at damaged goods, innocence. Damaged goods is down here. Innocence is up here. Innocence is a child of God. Innocence is a child of light and love.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So what I'm seeing right now with you energetically is you're understanding all of this intellectually, that you're not quite allowing yourself to receive this. And that's okay, because I know this is a complete change. This is a big shift today, right? This is a big aha. And what's interesting is today is a 9-day, which means letting go of old things. So you're ready to start a new beginning.
Yes.
Right. So let me just ask what will be really good for you to do. So I don't know if you've ever done anything like this. Have you ever done like a little fire ceremony where you write down the judgments and how it affected you and then you burn it?
Yeah, well, I did it with forgiveness, but yes.
Yeah, okay. So you can do that with this. And because what it feels like right now is that there's a big release that's coming for you. It feels like you've got it intellectually, but it's almost like you need to do a sacred little healing for yourself where you go in and you write this down, and whatever emotion comes up, it may be crying at first and then it may be dancing because you're letting this truth of who you are, the innocence, the pureness, the goodness, all this stuff that's there in the innocence to come in. Right now, it feels like it's sitting right here, like it's trying to come in, but you're not quite trusting it. And it feels to me that you need to do some kind of sacred process for yourself to just mark this day as today I'm done.
Okay.
Does that feel good to you?
Yes. Yeah, because I can feel it above my head, the pressure of it trying to come in.
Okay. So just right now, you can even go ahead and say, you know what? I'm going to just let this start gradually coming in. And instead of being shut down, because we have the power, we can always open this up, right? You just, I'm going to open this up. So I want to invite you to do that and invite you to just be in that energy of it and then do something sacred for yourself. Okay. Do something where you really mark this day. Because how old are you?
I'm in my 60s. Took me long enough, huh?
But please don't judge yourself. When you are molested, when you are abused in any way, your brain gets wired. I mean, our brains get wired like from the first 2 months are the most intense months of our lives. And everything else is just wired, 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 wired. And so what you've been doing with all the work you're doing is you're gradually rewiring, you're rewiring, I was going to say that. You're rewiring your brain. But so please don't judge how long it's taken. I'm about to turn 60 and I get it. I mean, there are things that I feel like, gosh, have I not gotten this yet? But I just have compassion for myself because I realized that my brain was wired a certain way and I've been chipping away at understanding it and doing it differently.
Okay.
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 So thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to hold some space for you today. Okay.
Terri, I appreciate you.
Yes, I appreciate you too. Thank you for being here. All right. I'm going to ask you to mute yourself. I'm going to lower your hand. Is anyone else? Wow. You know, if you've been abused, it is a lifetime of healing and clearing and the beliefs you take on, those labels and the labels. What's so interesting is if you have a label like she had with damaged goods, what that does is implies shame and guilt. So if you're holding those energies of shame and guilt, those are the two lowest energies on the energetic totem pole of the map of consciousness, right? And so life's going to feel hard with those energies and you are going to feel like people are judging you. The beauty in if you still have things that you feel like people are judging me, then that means the mirror is you're still judging yourself. And so that's what's so cool about today for you, Yvonne, is that you're cleaning up the judgment. And so now you can look at people, and if you feel it again, you just say to little Yvonne, you say, no, they're looking at you because they see you with the eyes of love. They see you with the innocence that is there. So you got to start rewiring your mind. Okay. Does anyone else have a question or a thought today? Raise your hand. Again, for those of you on Facebook, if you want to join this conversation next week, or every week, and you want to get the Zoom link in your inbox, you can go to terribritt.com/leaders to get my Women Leaders of Love Worthiness Quotient Breakthrough Bundle. And let me see if there's anybody. And that's at terribritt.com/leaders. I always forget to say that. Anybody else? Somebody's just now coming in. Okay. I see a hand, but I'm not sure whose hand that is. Let me see if there's any comments down here. Katie says, Yvonne, was that you?
It's Kiki.
Hey, Kiki, how are you?
Good. This was a wonderful session today.
Good.
I related to just about every fear that came in.
I get you, sister. Me too.
And 70, just turned 70. So, hey,
Wow.
working on it a little bit longer,
Wow.
but it gets pretty darn frustrating. I got this image that I was covered in mud,
Wow.
or maybe buried alive or something.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if that's at all relatable in your idea energy field, if you're picking anything up for me, but
What were you able to see when were you able to clear out some of the mud when we were doing the energy of releasing?
yeah,
Okay.
I was it
And
yeah, and it has to do with just allowing myself to be myself and to shine.
Mhm.
It's been quite difficult for me to allow that,
Mhm.
because of all those fears. So
Mhm.
I guess, so we don't feel overwhelmed by the fear. What can I do to, I mean, I guess I'm judging myself on top of it for
You are,
it
and
taking.
it's so interesting because I'm watching your inner child right now, and she's like, "Yay, yay, 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 yay! You release some of the mud, yay, yay, yay!" I mean, she's like really wanting to get your attention. Okay,
Uh-huh.
that's what
Okay.
I'm saying. She's like, "Are you going to talk to me? You're going to talk to me? You're going to talk to me?" And so that you don't feel overwhelmed, it's about really connecting to her on a daily basis and asking her, what can we do? Like, let's, what fear do you want to face today? And it's taking baby steps. And I really want to invite you right now to please not judge your age, where you are. I mean, because it's irrelevant, right? We're all on our own divine paths. So, I mean, my husband says something sometimes to me, is, "You've been doing this for how long and you're still working on this?" And I'm like, "And don't judge me." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Don't judge me. I have compassion for myself because I
Mhm.
understand it." So just, it's like, it feels like to me that she is really wanting to explore. That there's a tendency, like you said, to hold back, right? And she's
Right.
like, "No, I want to be on an adventure. I
Mm.
want to have some fun. I want to explore." And so the exploring, doing things that feel good to you, that feel joyful, or maybe even scary.
Yeah.
Okay. But that, how you can feel something scary, but you're wanting to do it, but then usually our fear will hold us back from doing it. But maybe it's something that you've really been wanting to do, then go do it, because you know that there's going to be something exciting there. So I want to invite you, Kiki, and I want to invite everybody to think of it as an adventure.
Mm.
Okay. Instead
Mhm.
of thinking of the expectation of what's going to happen that's bad, really come into that
Mhm.
mindset of, what's the adventure? What is the
Oh.
adventure I'm going to be on today? Does that ring true for you at all?
Yeah, yeah. I just did that yesterday. I
Yay.
was I almost gave up. I was trying to attend the local college that I graduated from. I wanted to go back and use the senior discount and take a class. And it
Awesome.
was so difficult to get through all the red tape, and I almost gave up. But I thought this could be an adventure. If I actually get up there with all those young kids, which
Yeah.
is where I want the youthful energy, not the energy of the aged. You know, I'm just totally rejecting the energy of age.
That's hysterical.
That's what came up for me. Yeah. So anyway, so that was my kind of my
So what's so cool about
attempt at an adventure.
Right. So what's so cool about that is that I'm just validating you. That's something you discovered yesterday. Okay. Your wisdom took you to that place. Your wisdom said, "Okay, let's just think of it this way." And then it manifested, right? So you did get in.
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure I got through all the red tape.
Well, you know what? So let the red tape be a mirror and
Mhm.
ask yourself, am I in resistance in any way?
Mhm.
Okay. Because the red tape could be your own resistance. Hopefully, after today, that red tape will lift. So, but you can ask yourself, right? I want to invite you to do that because you're 70 years old, right?
Mhm. Do I
So
have a lot more time? No.
it's time.
It's
It's
time.
time, girl. And you know what's so cool about it is I think I shared with you guys my dear friend who's 87 and she just never stops expanding and growing. And she's such an inspiration. I just love her to death. And, you know, I just want to encourage you to think, wow, maybe I am that person who hits my stride in my 70s so that I am impacting all of these people that one are looking towards that in the future or even my age now, because you know how many people are struggling and suffering. They're like, you know, they go to their deathbeds and they don't feel like they live their life.
Yeah. Oh, I don't
Right?
want to do that. I
Yeah.
don't want to do that.
So that's what I see as the adventure. Let me just see if there's anything else that I'm picking up on because I feel like there's something else. I'm looking in the back of your heart chakra. Let me look back there and see what it is. I hear a lot of no energy, like no, no, no,
Mhm.
no, no.
Yes, you do.
Okay. There's a
Yes.
lot of no energy.
A lot of no energy.
Right. And that is old energy. And I
Mhm.
want you to recognize it as old energy. It's not who you are now. Okay.
Mhm.
So today, I want to invite you to maybe you do your own burning ceremony where you put all the no's that you've been saying no to and burn them up. I like to use a soup pot. Okay. And then, you know, do that kind of thing. And then say, what am I ready to say yes to? And really, maybe even say, I am a divine yes. Maybe create a new mantra like, I am a divine yes. I am a divine yes. And with the intention that yes to adventure, yes to letting more love in. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because that
Mhm.
no energy, did you get a lot of no energy when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what it feels like to me. It feels
Yeah.
like this is what you took on as a child. So when you say no, when you continually say no, you're still making your parents the authority of your life
Mhm.
or teachers or whoever it was, right?
Mhm.
So,
Whole family, brothers and sisters, and mother and father.
okay. So
Yeah.
you
So
made them the authority.
yeah.
You're just 70 years old. You're still making them of the authority. And probably some of them are dead. I mean, if I were to guess,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Mom and
How
dad. Gone.
ludicrous is that, right?
It's such an interesting, different perspective. I'm
Yeah,
making them authority over my life still.
you are. We all
Mm,
do that. We
mm,
all do that. And
mm.
so you have to look at it this way is like that no energy was when I was a kid and I took it on. And you probably took on the no energy to stay safe,
Yes, I did.
right? You did it to stay safe. Well, the safe doesn't feel good anymore, does it?
Mm-mm.
Right? It doesn't
No.
feel good. You're wanting to be around youthful energy. You're wanting to expand. So the no energy, and there's actually, as we're talking about this, there's a contract coming out, and it's just the no energy. And I want you to just visualize it. And what I'm getting is you're ready to be done with it. So you can put today's date, September 22nd, 2021, put your name, imagine a big stamp done, and let's send that out into the universe and blow it up like confetti. Okay, because we have spiritual contracts. And
Mm.
usually the spiritual contract on the other side of it is somehow or another we serve, whether it's just how we live our life and people watching, maybe in teaching, whatever you do. Maybe it's about being around the young people and they're like, wow, you're going to college at 70 years old, you know? And
Back to college. Yeah.
yeah, but you know what I'm
Uh,
saying?
I'm a coach. I love to help people reach their goals and be successful and
Yeah,
all the things I won't allow myself to be. I love helping other people do it.
right.
But the
Now, the
contract
example of it, the contract, we blew it up.
blew it up.
So let's bring in yes energy. So I want you to invite the yes energy, and anybody else who wants to bring in yes energy, just bring it into the crown. Actually, it's coming straight into your heart. I want you to visualize or feel the energy coming into your heart space, saying, yes, I'm giving myself a big divine yes. Yes to be on the adventure. Yes to let love in. Yes, 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 yes. And I want you to feel that. It's almost like a starburst is exploding in your heart. and it's moving through your whole body is what I'm seeing right now. It's going to your toes, to your fingertips, to the top of your head, in your energy field, and even in your grounding. I want you to feel that energy flooding through you and just saying, yes, 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 yes. That's my new word. Yes. How does that feel to you?
Oh, like that starburst. Like
Yeah, it feels good. So here's
fire.
here's the key, and all of you can do this, and I'm so glad you brought this up today, Kiki, is pay attention to your mindset when you're saying a no. Okay.
Yeah.
And recognize that no, most of the time, is not going to let love in. So you're gonna just do a mind hack. So no, I'm choosing yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm choosing yes. Okay. And whether it's an adventure or whatever, give yourself permission to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Iggy, I don't know if you like to write, and I don't know if I've ever said this
I
to you.
love it. Love
Okay.
it. Yeah.
You got to be writing. I just see writing.
Okay.
Okay. So just really, I got to write, whatever it is. What am I writing today? Talking to your inner child, talking to your guides, just letting your wisdom come through. But it just feels like there's stuff that is waiting to be poured from your soul onto the paper.
Mm,
Okay.
that sounds good.
Are you writing daily?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much every morning with my after my meditation, I write.
Okay. Good. Keep that up, but with the intention of, okay, I'm going to be an open channel of saying yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Are you good?
I am good. Thank you. So are you.
Oh, thanks. I'm so glad you're here.
No, me too.
so
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
And everyone else.
Yes, thank you. So thank you, Kiki. And I'm going to just, I'm going to ask you to mute yourself. Great. I'm going to just make sure we have any thoughts or remarks here. Okay. So, oh, Dawn, we're already at 3:00. Where are you, Dawn? If you want to share something, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself, and you can come on real fast. Did you want to say something, Dawn?
Yeah. Well, if you're out of time, it's totally fine.
No. You're good. Good. Jump.
Well, I'll make it as fast as I can for you. What's very interesting, Terri, is you and I spoke on another session that you did maybe 3-4 weeks ago. I don't know if you recall, and it was regarding my mom and getting the vaccine, not getting the vaccine. Well, the timing couldn't have been more interesting with you coming live. And this incident happened right before you came on live. And I was going to get into doing a different activity. And I saw your live come on, and I was like, oh, let me have some Terri, like, please. You know? And so interestingly enough, what happened was it's still back with the vaccine. I get some videos from a very good friend of mine who also is not getting the vaccine as well. And they're the ones that aren't in the mainstream media and the ones that get pulled because it's filtered and whatever. So I've gotten these over time, but for some reason I would just felt like I need to send 1 or 2 of these to my mom because she so shamed me for not getting the vaccine. And I just felt like this would give her a little bit of my perspective. So I sent it to her, and I'm just going to read you the quick text that I sent with her and then her response. I sent it and said, just wanted you to view this. These are videos that never make it to mainstream media. It's filtered. I've seen many videos similar to this that make me be leery of the vaccine. Just wanted you to see some of what I see. So many of them get taken down, so the large public can't view them. So you'll need to watch it quickly before it's removed. They don't want this information out there. She wrote back and said, we are not going to view the material. You made your own decision not to get it. We pray for you every day that you will not be a Robert Keene, which is my cousin who just recently died and is my age. I felt so immediately triggered by that. My heart was racing, just like anger, hurt, like a whole bunch of reactions to it. And I wrote back to her and I said, I only sent it to you so you would have the full information on this vaccine. Awareness in general is a good thing. Openness to all information. My friend Barb got the vaccine and promotes it, and she was even administering the shots, but she still wants to be privy to the newest information. I appreciate your prayers. Well, I was still feeling all these feelings, and then you came on live and we did meditation, and I went into it, and like the aha hit me, like with the whole little girl thing and everything. And it just was like, in the meditation, I'm saying to myself, I just want her to understand. I just want her to see me. Like, I feel like that's where the trigger was for me. Once again in my life with her, she doesn't see me. She dismisses me. She shuts me down. She shuts me off. She's closed-minded, keeps the blinders on. Her way's the way, only the way. And I felt like that was dismissive again. It was like, you know what? You made your decision. It is what it is. And I was basically just trying to tell my little girl, she doesn't see you. That doesn't mean you're not worthy. That doesn't mean you're not lovable. You're a precious, sweet little girl, and you still are. Like that's what I kept trying to tell myself. So thank you for that, because it was helpful for me to see what so much was stirring up in me about, because it wasn't like I was trying to get her to say, oh yes, of course that's why you didn't get it. I just wanted her to see that I just like didn't willy-nilly just come up with this with no basis for it, and to just hear me.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't willing again.
It's so interesting is your mother's playing her part perfectly for you to become the authority of your life without needing her validation.
Yes.
We all have to make our own choices. And I think that it was so funny. I just had this conversation yesterday with a friend about all this, and talking about that this is it's so much deeper than are you getting the vaccine or not getting the vaccine. It's bringing up people's feelings of, is somebody trying to control me, or is somebody hearing me? Am I being seen? Do I matter? It's so much deeper. So, when you're doing that and you're talking to that little girl and you're validating her, your mom, if you look at spiritual agreements, is playing her part perfectly. It's what's going on our planet right now. Okay. It's the division is forcing people to stand up and say, what matters to me? And how many people have been just flatlining for so long and not really caring what they think or how they feel, right? They've just been. So when we get into survival, which this is survival in a way, it's our health, right? So it's forcing us, because a lot of times people will flatline until it's a death, or it's death or living, in their minds. So it's doing that for everybody. Okay, so just say thank you, Mom. Thank you. You have this. Y'all obviously have a contract that you have never felt validated by her, or what you said, or that she was going to understand you, or really pay attention. And it's because you feel like you have a big mission, and she is playing her part so that you will get grounded in your truth. Okay.
And we see this happening it's continuing with religion in general, because my mom is like a staunch Catholic and we were raised strictly that way. And my sister and I have now gone off into a different direction religiously. She hasn't confronted me about it, but she's confronted my sister about it. And it's like daggers to my heart, how I raised you this way. How dare you, not follow what the faith that I raised you in. So we are being in our sovereignty, and it is very liberating, but very friction based too. But
at least you're walking with your sister.
That's right.
You have somebody to support you on this. I know when I started saying to my family I was an intuitive, oh my God, the religious programming I got for that. It was like, wait, this is a gift I was given, to be able to see people's energy. I mean, today I'm seeing people's energy. It's helping, right? It's helping you move into a deeper space of love, but it's that programming, the blinders. And I get it. I get the fear. I get the programming, the spiritual DNA, the family, and the lineage, the ancestral stuff. I mean, there's so many factors in there. And so we just have to look at it and go, okay, I'm here at this time and I have to listen to my soul. I have to listen to that part of God. And if
Mhm.
anybody is showing me a no and telling me I'm wrong, they're just playing their beautiful part for me to get really grounded in my truth to the point where I don't have to defend myself anymore, that I can just stand in my truth and it's okay.
Mhm. It's giving me practice, right?
It's practice,
Right.
right? Yes. So congratulations for looking at it and loving yourself that way. And, and just keep saying, thank you. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for playing your part. I mean, the first time my sister said to me, I think you're working with the devil. I mean, my whole
Oh.
body started convulsing.
Mhm.
And I mean, literally, I was on the phone. I'm like, well, I love you. Goodbye. And I was like, and I mean, that's why I had so much fear. I talked about earlier in this call about being attacked, right?
Mhm.
And all that programming got lit up.
Mhm.
So, but it was a gift. It was a gift because what I know now is our intuition is so key for us to move into a divine flow and have balance in our lives. The more receptive we get, the more loving we get towards ourselves. We get into that receptive state. We tap into our intuition more, and then life gets easier, right?
Mhm.
We make
Mhm.
decisions based on guidance. So,
Right.
I mean, it's just see her as a gift and see everything right now that's happening as a gift for each of us to go deeper. So I'm going to jump. Are you good?
Yes, and thank you so much. It was just divine timing for me to be able to have this release and understanding. So thank you.
I'm so happy. Well, thank you for being here. I'm going to ask you to mute yourself. And so Katie says, this is bringing up so much. Well, I want to invite each of you to, if you need to go back and listen to this, listen to it and do the meditation. You can use these meditations over and over. It'll be on Facebook, on YouTube, and it's on my website. So you can go back and listen to this, just, today's date. But I just want to invite you right now to just close your eyes and just say thank you for the gift. Thank you for all the stuff that's going on in our lives right now, everything that has brought us to this point today, that we can heal and move deeper into love, standing in our truths, being the authority of our lives, not letting other people push us over, but when they try to just say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the love, thank you for playing your part. And as we leave here today, just seeing yourself walking in the light as a woman leader of love, where you've owned your worth, you're seeing the beauty and the goodness in you, you're seeing the light in you, and you're letting that light expand to others. So thank you guys for being here. You'll have a wonderful week, and we will see you same time next week. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.